Hello everybody and welcome to Card Karma. Back with another Legacy deck, that's right, 2 in the same week. This time I'm focusing on Meganium Prime. And Meganium has the PokePower Leaf Trans. As often as you like during your turn, you may move a grass energy attached to one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. So basically this allows you to just freely move your energies about so long as they're grass type. And yeah, it kind of works like Aromatisse in Standard currently. And yeah, in order to use that, we're going to use lots of different energies that all count as grass energies, and then all types of different attackers. So it's basically a toolbox type of deck where you have lots of different tools in your toolbox, and you just take them out. You take out the right tool for the right job. Certain Pokemon beat, help you in certain matchups more than others. So yeah, that's the premise, and it uses a lot of really interesting cards in order to achieve that effect. So yeah, let's just jump right in. So yeah, running one copy of Smeargle. He's a nice support Pokemon with his Portrait PokePower. It allows you to look into your opponent's hand and use a supporter as the effect. So it doesn't count as your supporter for the turn, meaning you can use this, use your own supporter, yada yada. It can hit Junipers and you could lose your hand, which is a risk, but he's pretty nice. 2 copies of Darkrai. His Dark Cloak ability is very helpful here. A lot of our energies, actually I think all of them, count also as Dark, so he allows free retreats for pretty much all of our Pokemon so long as they have energy attached. He's also a decent attacker in some matchups as well, so not to undermine that. His Night Spear does 90 and 30 to the bench, so very, very good attack. This Spiritomb is kind of more so a tech card. It has the ability Sealing Scream, which prevents both players from using Ace Specs, but it can be particularly helpful against, say, something like Virizion Genesect with their G-Booster, or perhaps even like Life Dew shenanigans with maybe a Sableye type of deck. I don't know, but it can be quite effective, especially if you got to play your Ace Spec early and you can shut theirs off. Terrakion is a very nice attacker in this deck because you can freely move the energies this time, so you don't have to like build him up on the bench and wait for the right time. You can just instantly move your energies to him when you need to, and either when his Retaliate is activated, or say you just need to do the 90 outright damage. Terrakion is pretty good. Has a high retreat, but like I said, Darkrai gives us free retreat. 130 HP is very nice. Victini, and this is a really nice tech card, I think, because with Virizion Genesect being such a good deck in this format, Victini is a low risk card to run because it is just non-EX, and its attack does 100 for 2 energy, which is pretty cheap if you think about it. And yeah, I mean, 100 damage can be good in other matchups too. It's not just for Virizion Genesect. Some things you can just straight up knock out, say a Suicune or Sigilif, or any other number of things actually that can die to 100 damage. And yeah, so Victini's pretty nice. Running a 3-2-2 line of the Meganium that the deck is based around. Ideally, you can. It has 150 HP, pretty tanky, and ideally it doesn't get knocked out what a catcher, whatever, but you should be able to avoid that. So I'm not running a super bulky heavy line of it, and we do run 2 Bayleafs as well, so we can do just the hard way evolution. But yeah, Meganium is the key of the deck, so we definitely have to get at least one on the battlefield. Moving on, we run 2-2 line of Vileplume, and this is also a nice little side condition. Like you can item lock them as well, so they really can't do a lot to work around you so much. And we run, I don't know if you saw at the beginning, but a very light on trainer cards. We play mostly supporters and stuff like that, so we basically don't really miss out. Once we get our rare candies into play, we don't really care about trainers anymore, for the most part. And yeah, so Vileplume's nice and can be really helpful in certain matchups more than others. Pichu, one of the baby Pokemon from the Heart Gold Soul Silver set. 30 HP like all the babies, and he has the Sweet Sleeping Face as well, like all the other babies, where he cannot be damaged while he's asleep. Pichu's attack is pretty unique. It's called Playground. It allows each player to search for his or her deck and pull out as many basics as they like, so both players get to fully set up if they choose to. In this deck, though, however, it can really help you just accelerate into your proper lineup. You can get an Oddish, a Chikorita, and then whatever attackers you need for that matchup down on the ground. So yeah, Pichu can be pretty nice. Gobalion, he's one of the less useful cards in the deck. Steel type only hits like Kyurem comes to mind. That's it. You know, Kyurem EX and Baby Kyurem, and any other ice type really. But other than that, it doesn't hit a lot of things super effective. So it's not the most useful type wise. But his first attack for one metal, does 30, which isn't a lot, but it does discard a special energy. So there are circumstances where you're fighting a deck that uses special energies, and this can help there. And then his second attack, actually, it costs 2 metal and a colorless for 100 damage, which 100 isn't a lot, but it goes through any effects on the defending Pokemon. So safeguard, other things maybe that they could have. It doesn't care about that, and it's going to go through that. So that's a pretty nice attack to have. You probably won't use Cobalion too often, but I feel like it's fine to include it in the deck, and I think it's cool that it actually we include so many colors. If you think about it, we run everything except Dragon, since Fairy isn't even out in the Legacy format. You know, Fairy doesn't exist yet, essentially. 2 copies of Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is just one of those Pokemon that benefits from getting a lot of energies moved onto it. So, say over the course of the game, and you've got energies on a sort of different things, like you can just move them all to a Mewtwo at some point in the game and just start running over stuff. So Mewtwo is a pretty nice attacker in the deck, and hitting Psychic Weakness can be useful, but of course that can be used against Mewtwo as well. You know, that's his biggest downfall, is that other Mewtwos can easily revenge kill him. Yeah, and then our last Pokemon, our water type coverage here. Not so common, not often played, this Kyogre EX from Dark Explorers, but he has some cool attacks. He has Smash Turn, which 1 water and a colorless does 30 and allows you to hit and run. So this can help you just kind of keep up damage and maybe making it hard for them to take knockouts. And then his Dual Splash actually is pretty neat. It does 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's just a double snipe that you can put anywhere. So I could see how that could be useful, especially if maybe your opponent retreats something to the bench and thinks that's safe, and you can just pick it off with this. So yeah, Kyogre's interesting. And yeah, so that's our toolbox, more or less. Those are the Pokemon that we're running to use as attackers and supporters and stuff like that. Let's move on to the trainers. So we do run a computer search. Obviously, if we get Vileplume in play first, it's not so useful. Or if we play our Spiritomb, we can't use it. But I don't think there's any question as to the usefulness of computer search. 3 Pokemon communications. This is going to help us be more selective on the Pokemon that we're getting into play. Since we do run so many different Pokemon and we only need certain ones for certain matchups, this is going to help us get those exact Pokemon. Or, say we have a Candy in hand, it's going to let us evolve, etc. So, Pokemon communication is really nice in a deck with so many Pokemon in it. 4 flavors of Rare Candy, because we do run 2 Stage 2 lines. We have the Vileplume and the Meganium that can both take advantage of this card, so we definitely want to be drawing into them pretty frequently. 1 copy of Colress, again, because we do fill our bench. If you play Pichu, maybe they fill their bench. And yeah, so Colress can be pretty huge. Getsus, this is a kind of neat little funny card to run, I guess, using Vileplume, because they're almost guaranteed to have items clogging up their hands, so you can actually draw you quite a few cards. This could be probably removed and replaced with something else for more consistency, but I think it's a nice inclusion, and not very, you don't see it a lot, but sometimes it can really just be devastating. 3 copies of N, just a nice draw supporter, and we are kind of setup heavy, so maybe we can draw out the match just a little bit. 3 copies of Pokemon Collector. This may be a little high. I don't often like running that high count of Pokemon Collector, but it is pretty critical that we get an early setup and start evolving our Pokemon and getting our attackers down as soon as possible. So I do have 3 in here. I could understand cutting to 2 for sure, but I don't know. 4 copies of Oak's New Theory, and this is just the best supporter, and we have 4 of them, so it's going to be very consistent drawing into them. Shuffle your hand, draw 6. It's just a great card. 2 copies of Seeker. Now this actually kind of works like the Max Potion does for the Aromatisse deck in Standard, where you can retreat an injured Pokemon, move all the energies off of it with Meganium, and Seeker it up, pulling up all those damage counters, removing the prize, and starting fresh. You could even play it right back down and move all the energies right back to it, depending on what it is. So Seeker can be really nice, and as well, it can set up donks. I mean, it's not very common it's going to do that, but if your opponent only has 1 benched Pokemon and you can Seeker it up and then knock out their active, you can win that way as well. And I could see maybe even running 3 Seekers with how useful it is for this deck as working like a Max Potion, so I don't know. I did decide to include 1 Skyla. This can be less useful, but it can also just be, you can just get another supporter card and use it for the next turn. But you can grab your Rare Candy, your Communication, your Tropical Beach, which I haven't got to yet. But you can grab basically any of your other stuff. I'm not sure. This could be a bad call. Maybe this should be another Seeker. But I'm going to run it with the Skyla. And then 3 copies of Twins. Pretty nice card. As long as you've already... If your opponent's ahead on prizes, basically, it's like a double computer search. So if you're not set up, you can get set up for sure with Twins. So it's nice to include in the deck. And then finally, Tropical Beach. Just 1 copy this time. Really nice early game to just fill your... play it out when you're not going to attack anyway. Drop to 7. Keep your hand filled. And yeah, so... That's the trainer cards / supporters, whatever, mostly supporters, like I said. So that's that. And then for energies, like I said, all of them count as grass one way or another. This one is the blend energy that has grass, fire, psychic, and dark on it. So it covers Darkrai's energy, it covers Victini's energy, it covers, I guess, Mewtwo technically, and then it also works for grass. So it works for lots of stuff in the deck, actually. Prisms, so long as it's on a basic. This provides all types of energy, so even our obscure attackers like Cobalion can attack with this energy attached. And then finally, Rainbow energies, which obviously also count as every type of energy. So one way or another, we should be able to power up and keep the right energy types and to be attacking with all types of different attackers. And yeah, so that's the deck, Meganium Toolbox, using Meganium Prime and a bunch of really cool attackers. Definitely an interesting concept. I'm not sure how viable it is. Obviously, it has its weaknesses, being, for one, very setup heavy, but 2, being reliant on certain Pokemon for certain matchups. If it gets knocked out, you may be in risk, especially with Vileplume. You can't Super Rod anything back in. So if you really need Terrakion for a certain matchup and you lose him early, he's not coming back. So that's a big risk that you run playing a deck like this. But nonetheless, I think it's a really cool deck, and I'm going to get a match for you guys and show you how it works. Alright, we got a match versus Joao Mota 92. Looks like a Ray Eels variant. I'm not 100% sure though, but my guess is we do win the coin flip, so we'll go first. I think I'll go ahead and play Mewtwo. I don't think, if it is Rayo's Cobalion, it's not going to be that great. And yeah, we'll see what happens though. Okay, opponent. Opponent says those are the prettiest sleeves ever. They are pretty cool. So I guess I'm going to play Oddish and play the Pokemon Collector. Grab Darkrai, Chikorita, and he's playing both. So he's weak to fighting and water. So I'll grab the Terrakion. Does that seem okay? I can't switch into Smeargle, so I think that's okay. Do I want to play Terrakion yet? I think I do. Now in the turn there. Draw 2 cards and your opponent discards a card. I think I'm okay discarding this, but maybe I just discard this. Yeah, let's toss Spirit Chain. I don't think it's a great loss there, but although I guess I'm not playing Cobalion either, so. Now we see a Kyurem, so he's playing the whole Monty. I wonder who his dragon is. I saw Dragon, Fire, Water, Electric. I believe that was all I saw. Giant cape going on to the Huron, so a lot of HP. I guess he's trying to make that kind of tanky. 200. I guess you could say it's tanky. Go ahead and attach to Mewtwo and oak away my hand. Yeah, we got excess pieces here, but Twins is not active yet, so I'm just gonna have to end the turn there. If I do draw under Rare Candy or something next turn, I can get stuff going. Okay, he does choose to go straight into this Kyurem. One, two, three, 4, 80. So he'll be doing 110 back. I don't need anything here, so I'm going to have to open once again. Hopefully give me a better combination. Pichu isn't much use here. I could stall with it, and that's about it. I am going to go ahead and communication away the extra Oddish for a Bayleaf. Right, or do I go for Smeargle? I don't think so. Yeah, Pichu is basically useless here. So we have 120 left. If he attaches one and I attach one. He didn't attach. So with that item on, I won't be able to KO here. And Retaliate doesn't kill either. Night Sphere also does not kill. So I'm in a pretty bad spot here. I could hit him again for 80, leave him with what, 40 left. But he takes out both my energies in the process. I'm just gonna feed him a Pichu. Do I let him fill his bench? Is it worth? Because I could possibly just wake up anyway and he just gets a filled bench for free. I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna let him take Pichu for free. Okay, and he does. Yeah, I have to put all the energies on this nearly dead Mewtwo here. Try to get the KO. Maybe a Skyla, which could be something useful for us. But yeah, now even with just a DCE, he doesn't kill, so I feel kind of safe. He could still run plus power, he could run Silver Bangle. But either way, he needs at least a DCE. He does get that. But can he do any extra damage? He does run the plus power. Incredible. So there goes 4 energies, and he takes an additional prize, going down to 3. And now we're in a kind of a pickle here. Gonna promote the Darkrai. And I actually can get Vileplume in play right now. I'm gonna retreat into this mural here. Alright. Oh, he does run type Flosion, but yeah, he won't be able to rare candy now. He can't play that, any of that other stuff. So, yeah, it's gonna end turn. Although if he does get a supporter, he's likely to just play it outright, so Smeargle might be sitting there for a while. Comes to another Kyurem, Frozen City, which I guess will have an effect on us, but not a major one, I don't think. It does, I guess, help his creatures, though. And we see an Outrage just doing 20, so... Kyogre, not the most useful here. I'm just going to use Portrait again anyway. He's still sitting on nothing. It's going to end the turn. In a bit of a standstill here. He can't play items. I'm not drawing my support. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have Skyled for the candy there and done that, but I did stop him from playing lots of annoying cards, so... We get a second energy in play, but not going to be what we need yet. He's still sitting on nothing. And yep, just going to end the turn once more. Oh, I forgot about that. So I did extra damage to my tracking. So maybe it would have been smarter to play it on the Darkrai, but figured with him ahead on prizes, I don't want to make it easier to take EX knockouts. Rare candy, again, not what we need. And at this point, Smeargle will be knocked out the next turn if we don't do something. So maybe I just send out Kyogre to stall at this point. I don't think he's in risk of actually OHKOing it with anything. Need that there. I guess I can still try. Nope. Now I could start attacking, but that would just make his outreach better. So I'm gonna have to end the turn once more. drawing any of my supporters at this rate is going to be awesome. Gets this is probably still going to net me quite a few cards even, so yeah, I'm really just stalling. Oh, Kyogre is weak to electric. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Twins, okay. Yes. I need just an energy. And what else? Maybe another, no, not a, yeah, another twins wouldn't be so bad. I can just grab another supporter, I guess. Maybe the Seeker. Gets us. Pure Search. Let's grab the energy first. Tropical Beach. That looks good. Ah, damn it. That was a misplay. Weakness, knocking out that Zekrom. We are running kind of low on energies now. If he is able to take this knockout, we'll be in a pretty bad spot. But the only way I think he can do that is playing his stadium. Okay, and he doesn't get that. 160. Go ahead and play chorus here. Retreat into the Kyogre. Move these energies off of this injured Terrakion. And yeah, actually I just started hitting his bench there. He's hitting me for 50. So, I think I'm in a good position here. Okay, now Seeker would allow him to pick up one of those. Maybe I hold it for the time being. Just use Getsus. I'm just gonna do it. Yeah, down to 3 cards. And no, only do 50, right? So 140, so I'm good for yet another turn. He does play his Cyndaquil. Okay. Now things get tricky, I guess. So I could snipe the Reshiram, but I put him at 110. So he hits quite hard there. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, this is a big risk here. I'm only taking one prize and I'm leaving this Darkrai up front. But I don't think he can KO here. Alright, 30. Yep, there's the victory screen. So yeah, that was basically exactly how the deck should work. You saw how I picked, the right attackers. I saw which weaknesses he had in his deck, and I chose the appropriate attackers. Used Meganium to move those energies around in the proper place, and did some really tricky stuff like with the Kyogre, and I used Terrakion. And using Darkrai's switching ability, I totally avoided any of my attackers actually getting knocked out. I did give him up. I gave up the Pichu early on, and I gave up something else, I think, just because I had to, but that's just the case with Outrage being, how it is. But yeah, you pretty much saw how the deck should work. I held off using Seeker, but you saw how I could have fully healed either the Kyogre or the Terrakion on my bench with it. But I chose to use my sniping attacks to my advantage, taking out stuff from his bench, and then I was able to KO his active. Well, I would be, since he could hit me for 140, leaving me at 150, but not enough, and I would take my last two prizes on his Kyurem. So yeah, that was Meganium Toolbox. I hope you guys enjoy the deck. It's got a lot of play to it. It's really fun, but like I said, it has its obvious drawbacks. For the main one being just it's very setup heavy and somewhat control-ish or whatever, and so you're limited on what items and stuff you can run with the Vileplume, and you can't run Junk Arms, Level Ball, you don't run most of the luxuries that you usually have in the Legacy format. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a pretty fun deck, and I'm sure you could tinker it to be better, for certain matchups, but depending on what attackers you run and what numbers. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the deck, and have a good day. Peace out.